The hydrofracking health study. We just debated that the other day, and SUNY was supposed to do the study. And we were under the impression, and the question was asked, what was the cost? And we were told there was no cost, that SUNY had enough resources. But isn't it a fact in this budget we're putting in $100,000 for SUNY to do the study?
Yeah. We were correct when we said then we could afford it, but we decided that we would make sure they would have the money, so we would give them the additional money to do it.
Okay.
So, but when we answered the question then, we were right and we did have the money.
They lose it someplace? All right, so my question, we voted on it, and when we voted on that bill, it was that SUNY didn't need any money to do this. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand why we're paying $100,000 right now. But my next question is Taste of New York. We're providing $500,000, $1.5 million less than the governor.
Is that
correct?
On the highway? What's the problem? The highway? We took things out. What? Well, there were some things there that was a problem. The number one, of course, was the thruway, and the question of them allowing wines to be put on the road. We didn't think that was something we wanted to have happen. So we made sure we set it up, took back some money to stop that from happening. But at the same time, we allowed and set a certain way that they could and the things they could use. So we are doing it for community, upstate farmers and everything else.
Okay. But now there were a host of different products that were New York products that were part of this, and now it would only authorize the farm wineries and farm breweries.
Yes, we were not taking manufactured products. We were only taking things that are actually grown in the community because they could ship in, put it in the factory, and then send it out and say it's New York. Put a label on it. That was not what we were interested in. Okay. So that's the reason we did it that way.
But I'm trying to understand why we wouldn't want to promote other New York products just besides the wine and the farm brewing. So if we have other New York-based products, why wouldn't we want money in this fund in order to promote New York products?
What? Well, we'll start to look and see, and when it's actually New York products, we will start to use it.
I would appreciate.
We'll look at it.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Okay.
But you understand the problem is they bring it in, slap a label, and it's not ours.
Okay. I've got that part of it. Now let's go to, if we can go to school funding. Now the cuts that were given to the city, all of that the governor proposed, you made the city schools whole. So you returned all that funding to the city schools. Is that correct?
Yes and no. It was never taken. In other words, it was the appropriation to take it was not there, but it was not, the money was not taken out. In other words, the number that the governor gave us when he gave us the budget was the number he gave before they took the money out. So that number was the same number. What he was going to do was we were not going to appropriate it, and so that would take it out. So the money was there. So we're just taking that and using the money and appropriating it, making an appropriation of it.
Okay. And for the rest of the state, for the high tax aid, we only were restored half the money. So the
That's correct.
So the city was made whole, but the rest of the state got half of it back. Half of their funds.
No, they didn't lose anything. This is two separate issues. What the city got back was what they didn't lose to begin with. In other words, they wouldn't have lost it till we took it. It was still there.
Okay.
So that has nothing to do with any other program. So all we did is we struck the language and just said they will get the money they're supposed to get,
Okay.
which the money was there. So it doesn't match anything else.
All right. So like my school district lost $2 million.
That was, you lost it based on not paying, not doing the program, or did you lose it because when we cut last year or 2 years ago, the original cut?
Well, the governor's budget cut, the school run.
Oh, yeah, well,
cut $2 million.
everybody, that's a separate part, and that money, everybody lost money, and the city lost money, you lost money, we all lost money on that one, and we've been restoring that money, and you've gotten some restoration in this program. There will be some restoration. There's some restoration in New York City. The 240 has nothing to do with that.
Okay. Well, my problem is my schools, I'm still waiting for the mandate relief that we were promised, and my schools are actually struggling right now to meet with this. They've paid down any money that they had set aside, and now they're looking at, my school district was looking at a 16% increase. Now they're trying to put through an 8% increase
When were they looking at a 16%?
this year, coming up.
Where was that coming from?
Sachem. Well, that's what, to the taxpayers.
No. You had said that?
No, that's what they're trying to put in front of the taxpayers. They're estimating they need a 16% increase.
Oh,
in
you mean the
taxes.
school board has put 16%?
Right.
Okay.
And they think they might be able to get 8%. I don't think so. So we were promised mandate relief 2 years ago. I haven't seen that. Library aid. My other problem with the libraries, they're doing more and more functions. I mean, I use my libraries quite a bit. My libraries were active in the recent Sandy storm. And what they did is actually activated people to help put in FEMA applications. And once again, the libraries were not helping them any. We're increasing. And my libraries are telling me that they have to pay the MTA tax. Now, we exempted the schools last year, but we didn't exempt the libraries. So I'm asking, is there any consideration exempting the libraries from the MTA tax?
Oh, last year, to cover the mobility tax, we gave $1.3 million to the libraries. That is to cover that mobility act, and we're keeping it in this year also.
Why not just exempt the libraries also from the MTA tax? Like we did the schools last year.
Good question.
Thank you. Okay. Teacher evaluation compliance. Now, the city's not being fined for not complying under this budget, okay? But the governor last year was supposed to reimburse the schools for the cost of putting together these evaluations, okay? And there was a cost to it. It was another unfunded mandate upon our schools, but there was no money in the budget last year to reimburse the schools for the cost of generating these evaluations and putting this evaluation process in place. Now, have we put money in the budget to reimburse our schools at expense?
No, there's nothing in the budget that speaks to that.
Well, if we made a promise last year that we were going to reimburse them for that, don't we have an obligation to make sure they get reimbursed for that?
If we did, I don't remember that, but that we made a promise to it. What we made the promise was that there would be an increase over last year, which is the governor did keep that in his budget plan to us, because that goes back to the original, when he passed the original bill that cut the education. We had last year, we increased the monies we put last year, and we were supposed to increase and are increasing this year. The governor gave us the numbers he said he would, and we're now taking his numbers and going ahead of them and putting a little more than he put in, because they thought there'd be more things. So there would be more things going into you'll be getting more money in your school district than you were getting from the governor.
Okay.
But it's still not more than it was from 2009 and 2010.
Well, I would ask that while we move forward in this budget process, that you keep that in the back of your mind.
You know, we're continuing to get it back.
Okay. All right, now, in this budget also, we have, for some reason, we're going to look at probation sentences. And what we are going to do is we are going to change the felony probation from 5 years probation to 3 years.
Right.
And we're going to change the misdemeanor probation from 3 years to 2 years.
We're giving the authority to the judge. Yeah, we're giving authority to the judges to do that. In other words, we're not doing it, we're just saying they can if they want to.
Why are we doing that?
Well, there are people who believe that their prisons are cost money to do the programs that they're doing, and they're just saying they can make it less. The judge still makes the decision. So if you've got a really bad person there, I don't think they're going to do it. So it's up to the judges.
Okay.
We're giving them the authority.
So why do we have to do this in the budget? Why couldn't we do it separate legislation?
Those Article 7s, we do a lot of things in those. We were dealing with our prison problem. That went in under that, and we threw it in there. It's also a form of mandate relief, we believe.
Okay. Now, my understanding is with the MTA business tax surcharge, which is meant to expire this year.
I'm sorry, start that again.
Okay. The MTA business tax surcharge
You're right, yes.
expires this year. And we're looking to extend that.
Yes.
After passing the minimum wage, right, and a host of other anti-business reforms. And did our House talk to the Senate to see what the Senate's stand is on this?
We'll find that out when we have the conference committees.
Okay.
Because remember, this is going to the conference committees, and then on the table, they'll discuss it. I think they'll tell us about it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dan.
You're welcome.